went to the Bible, I went to do a bit of study. And I saw that there were people who God had used. But at one point or the other, there was despair. We all know about Elijah. We know what happened to Elijah. We know how Elijah was a man used by God now. It's not Elijah that called down fire. It's not Elijah that said that there will be no rain. It's the one. It's not the one that gave different prophecies. It's not the one that said that the woman that should go and bring the many oil and they multiplied. It's not the one that God used. That woman whose son would not have his child, and now had a child. Then the child died, and now raised the child. And one woman told him, I will deal with you. And then fear settled in and he ran. That happens to us a lot of times. And so because we are privileged by God to be learned, most times when something happens, the first solution you think of comes from sense knowledge. You know why? Maybe I'm a medical doctor, so the first thing that comes is, okay, so if we do this, it's not bad. We have learned to thank God for everything that happens in our lives. So, I've learned to thank God for medicine. I've learned to thank God for money to pay medical bills. I've learned to thank God for legs that walk. I've learned to thank God. But sometimes, you understand, we forget that God can do everything. And so most times we don't put in. So there's a family, there's something wrong in the family, in the marriage. And we start looking for solution. Or we start analyzing. We start reading about, you understand, things. And we forget to put God at the center. And say, God, I put you at the center of my home. It doesn't matter. I might be the head of the home, and my wife is Miss Me, but I put you where you belong. I speak to my wife. I speak to my husband. I declare that this home is a blessed home. I declare that my children serve the Lord. They are fervent in spirit. They are worshiping God. They follow God's plan for their lives. I keep declaring it. We forget. And so most times, prayer is like an untapped resource in our homes, in our lives. We forget the importance of prayer. So I've learned, when you call me for something, the first thing I say now, yeah, let's pray. And I know that, okay, fine, after prayer. Because it is God that will lead you to the right hospital sometimes. It is He that will put the right doctor on duty. Even if you have to beg somebody for money, He will put money in that person's account for you to pay the hospital bill. You don't understand these things. And sometimes, in the comfort of your home, you receive your healing. Most times. Oftentimes. Be it done to you according to your faith. So I said, prayer. So what is it that has, Pastor, I was looking at it. I was telling them at the office, I said, some people were sharing with me the challenges that they had. This beginning of this year. As if the challenges were waiting for